The population of Artsakh has been subjected to a blockade for over half a year now. Azerbaijan's closure of the Lachin corridor has left the region without access to Armenia or the rest of the world. During this time, CivilNet continues to visit different villages in Artsakh to understand firsthand how the people have been impacted by the blockade. This time, we are in Gishi Village in Artsakh's Martuni region to talk to residents about the direct effect that the blockade has had on them.
You ask me what we don't have, it's better to ask what we do. We have a shortage of everything.
1,000,000%. We have an issue with gasoline. If they provide it, then it's okay. People can carry on. Our house is on top of a hill. We just turn the car on and drive downhill on neutral. Well, what if the brakes don't hold? My orchard is down there. 10 liters is barely enough for 3 or 4 days. If I put the car in drive mode, it wouldn't even last that much.
3 teachers from neighboring communities would come to teach at the school. Due to the lack of fuel, they taught remotely for a short period of time. The absence of gasoline has forced residents to use government-issued ration coupons. But the process of obtaining gasoline is anything but simple. Residents are given a ration coupon for 10 liters every 15 days. And requesting more is complicated and ultimately offers no guarantees. Without gasoline, people in the village find it increasingly difficult to go to their lands to tend to their orchards and crops.
People can't go to their mulberry orchards to make mulberry vodka or molasses, to gather the actual fruit. 10 liters of gasoline isn't enough for 15 days. Every day, Grisha Avagimian drives 8 kilometers to go to the cow stable. How many days will he be able to go and come on 10 liters of gasoline?
For now, the residents of Gishi are able to live off of what they produce from their lands, but the scarcity of other daily necessities has been increasing each day. A shortage of sugar, for example, will have dire effects on the production of canned goods. So much of this year's harvest will go to waste, leaving nothing for the winter months.
The harvest is there, but now the problem is sugar. We need it to prepare canned goods for the winter.
What can I do with a half a kilo of sugar for a whole month? Make jam, drink tea, or give it to the children? We have cherry trees in our yard. After all, we have to live here in the winter too. We have to make jam and stuff, but nothing can be done.
There are many problems in the village. For example, right now we don't have any water in the village. People have gone to their orchards, but there's no water.
Among the most urgent issues is a scarcity of water due to electricity blackouts. Gishi Village sits at a high altitude, which means that water supplies cannot reach it without the help of pumps. While the power of gravity is enough to help other villages, Gishi relies on pumping mechanisms to receive water. The pumping system relies on electricity to work. And so, without electricity, there is no water. Some days, residents of Gishi Village have water for only 2 hours. One solution is to install diesel generators at pumping stations, but that would require a large amount of diesel fuel.
Basically, the most serious problem is the problem of drinking water. Due to the frequent power outages, we do not have time to supply water to the people.
Drinking water is very limited. Yesterday, for example, there wasn't any. Today, there isn't any. Maybe in the evening, we'll finally have water.
The pumping station works with electricity and we are already unable to meet the schedule. We hope and expect that they will supply diesel generators. If they supply our pumping station with diesel generators, it will be possible to supply the people with drinking water for half a day.
Since the beginning of Azerbaijan's blockade, there have been continuous blackouts in Artsakh. Now the outages occur for 6 hours a day and cause huge problems for water pumping stations in the village. The company named Water Supply serves 74 villages of Artsakh. In 71 of those villages, water is collected mechanically. The solution to the problem is to install diesel generators in the pumping stations. But in this case, a large amount of diesel fuel will be needed. There are also a number of villages in Artsakh where water systems were supposed to be built. But, due to the blockade, construction work has also been stopped.
There are no systems in more than 40 communities, and there are specific projects that should be implemented. But in the conditions of the blockade, we have a serious problem with building materials. We cannot carry out any construction work.
There are many problems, but our destiny is to live in this country, our homeland.